I want to talk about the Mandela effect and the power of intention and synchronicity. Synchronicity is when you're sitting there and you're thinking, hmm, let's see, a polka dotted lion. And then all of a sudden in the news, you turn TV on, they just discovered a polka dotted lion. You find a magazine, you open it up, oh, polka dotted lions, right? And my theory is that you bring that into existence. That was the power of intention. The power of intention can be so powerful and so quick. Sometimes it's taken me a year or two to get what I want, but sometimes it's instant. Just a mere thought will bring things into existence. So you got to watch the original series, Star Trek series, and it's called Shore Leave, and it'll really demonstrate how it works. We bring things into existence with our thoughts, so we have to be careful. We have to control our thoughts and realize that things are being produced through power of intention. Now, your intention is, let's say you want a pink Cadillac. I want a pink Cadillac because I'm into Elvis. I really want a pink Cadillac. But where do I buy one? They're vintage. I don't really have a whole lot of money. Can't afford a vintage model. So, but it turns out there's a guy that I never even met before, Mr. Smith, and he lives down the street, and he had a pink Cadillac, but he never took it out. He kept it in his garage. And so now he's died, and the family are trying to get rid of it. And they want to get rid of it because it's ugly, they don't like it, it's hideous, they hate it, blah, 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 right? So that pink Cadillac came into existence through your power of intention. But your pink Cadillac can't just pop into existence. So it has to have a history behind it. So boom, you get a history. All of a sudden there's Mr. Smith, who may have never existed before, who suddenly comes into existence. So history is being changed. Constantly history is being changed. Then we don't notice the change because we have no memory. This is all theoretical. But we have no memory of what just took place. In other words, the Mandela effect is when people remember, oh, I remember, it wasn't like that before. Oh, I remember, there was no Mr. Smith. I lived right next door to that house. I never heard of a Mr. Smith, and I've never heard of him having a pink Cadillac. I've never seen a pink Cadillac. But he was brought into existence with a whole background, everything, and so that the pink Cadillac would have a history, that you could buy it. They want to get rid of it real cheap, and you're looking for it, so there you go. But the Mandela effect kicks in when people remember. People go, wait a minute, I live next door. There's no such thing as Mr. Smith. That was the Johnsons next door. It wasn't the Smiths. So I think that's how it works. I think this is what the Mandela effect is, and I think it's been here an awful long time. It's been here for a long, long time. Now, history changes. History's constantly changing. As you bring something into existence, it has to have a history. I've seen on the net where people, they'll come across a building they've never seen before, ever. They don't remember. They've been living in their community for maybe 20 years, and they've never seen that building. One day they go, "What's that building?" Well, it's the bank. Well, when did they put the bank in? Oh, that was like decades ago. Oh, long before I even moved here, the bank was here. And you go, what? I'm finding these stories everywhere. I'm finding stories of a guy who was totally single, woke up in bed, and there's a woman in bed with him. Turns out to be his wife of so many years, and he's got so many kids. But now they all have to have a history behind them. So the past is altered. The past is altered like a kaleidoscope to give a new image. And I think this is what it's about. I think this is how it works. So the Mandela effect is history changed by the power of intention. Say like that Cadillac has to have, a past. It has to have a past to it. So, and then synchronicity is part of the power of intention. You're bringing things into existence like polka-dotted lions. So let's say all of a sudden you're thinking polka-dotted lions, and all of a sudden you read an article about polka-dotted lions discovered in Siberia, Russia, or something. I don't know. See, you could have brought into existence, but now you go into the textbooks and in school and stuff, and you find out that there was these theories of polka-dotted lions, and see, it's all becoming a history now. It all has a history, and that was a really bad example. Well, anyways, it's very difficult. I'm getting tongue-tied here, and it's hard to concentrate. So, like that, the place I live in is exactly what I've always wanted all my life. It has everything I wanted in my life, and I thought I must have created it. So if I created it with the power of intention, then it has to have a history, and it has to have people that built it. It has to have people that built it and people that lived here before, and it has to have a history. It can't just pop into existence without it. And then, therefore, history kicks in, alters, it changes, and oh yeah, it's bad, that building, oh yeah, I remember when they were building it, oh, what, 20, 30 years ago, yeah, But then other people will remember and go, wait a minute, I lived in the area. I've never seen that building. That building was it was vacant land. I don't get it. That's really creepy because I know there was no building there. There was no house there. So that's how it all takes place. So anyways, that's hopefully I'm not confusing you, but you bring things into existence through your thoughts, the power of intention. These things have to have a history, a credibility. They have to have a past. Now the history changes. You change and alter the history, but then some people remember the original timeline and go, wait a minute, I don't remember that. That's really, really weird. So this guy that wakes up in bed with a wife that now he's been married for 20 years, and well, his kids would have had to go to school, so suddenly history's changed. Suddenly there's records of those kids that he has that were in school, and their marks and all, everything involved with them is all part of history now. It's part of a time stream. So I think that's what's happening, is we're changing our time stream, constantly changing our time stream through the power of intention. We're bringing in things, but things need to have a history, a past. So that's the way it goes. So I don't know. Hopefully I explained it properly. It's hard to concentrate with this mad squirrel. So there you go. Thank you very much.